Hello and welcome back to the Unboxers, and today we have for you another Batman figure, and this time he is...
It is the McFarlane Toys Platinum Edition Batman from Batman Spawn 1996.
Woo! We're going retro, folks. Yes. So this is comic book version, and first thing I'm noticing is he's got quite pronounced shoulders.
Yes, that was
squared off shoulders.
That's definitely a McFarlane thing. He's done that in the comics several times with the shoulders kind of pointing up. And
his bat logo looks a little smaller than we're usually used to seeing it in this version. And it does look like he's going to come with a couple or an extra set of hands and a batarang, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Let's go ahead and turn the box around. Some glare going on. Ooh, take a look at that artwork. Very, very cool. I like that angle and how they did that.
Yeah.
So is he doing something with the rope?
He's like swinging.
I was gonna say, yeah. Looks like he had his hand on it a little bit. So very cool.
Yeah, that's another thing that yeah, because a lot of the McFarlane stuff is like all about the movement and everything. So even when he was doing like Spider-Man, you'll notice it's not just web going from his hand to the wall or whatever. There's all this kind of extra.
Yeah.
So now, like, kind of with Batman too, he's got obviously, you know, there's more
the rope all intertwined.
So he kind of shows it off and kind of makes it all flowing and.
That's really neat. Lots of details and folds in the cape too. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get Batman out of this box and give you a much closer look. We'll be right back. All right, so there's
Batman
out of his box. Let's go ahead and take a look. So he is going to come with the base, with the peg and the DC embossed. And then he also has a collector card, which let's take a look at that. There's the artwork that you saw on the back of the box. Very neat. And then on the back, his data file. There you go, 1996.
Be interesting to see, like, take all, because basically it's always, you know, the backstory. Be interesting to see, like, as many Batman figures as McFarlane has done, and like how different, you know. I mean, at some point you just can't make up new stuff for the same story.
Oh, for sure. So he's got one gripping hand and one closed fist, and they match the two that he has on. So he has one other closed fist on and one gripping hand for his left hand. All right, now let's take a look at the figure. So here's, whoa, serious face. So this mask, I don't know if it's showing up so much, but he's got like black across here in parts of the mask, right? Am I right? Yeah, and then it's got the navy blue through here. I was trying to see if all of that was black, but his eyebrows actually look blue. I don't know if it's picking it up, so hopefully you can see. And then here's the cape. It's got the points on the end, like the little tips of the bat. Like bats have that on there.
Right.
Oop! And then I knocked the batarang out of his hand. He's got that. That's like a wider one with a little less detail, maybe?
Yeah, it's definitely a bigger version than we've seen.
Then there's the hand with the 3 little prongs sticking out on that one and this one. Here's the back of the cape. It's got lots of neat folds. And then it's got the, I was going to say it's not even exactly, I was going to say it's not symmetrical so much.
Yeah.
At the little jagged things, it's almost like it, well, it is a little bit. Anyway, you get the gist of it. And then let's take a look at the front. Here's back to the symbol on his chest. So a lot of times the figures, you know, it almost takes up his whole chest, the symbol. But this one has a nice simple one in the middle with the yellow and the black. He's got a yellow belt, but it's not quite as bright yellow as this, so that this stands out a little more. So he got his little, he doesn't have as many utility packs, just has the little grooves, but I don't see anything hanging off of it in this version. And then the blue boots. And yeah, so I think I've shown it off pretty well. And then there's underneath, and now John can show off his articulation.
Alright, so let's take a look. So this one is a little different. Instead of having the point of articulation at the base of the head. It is actually at the base of the neck, which will allow him to look from side to side. It will allow him to look down. He can take a nap while he's in the Batmobile. It will allow him to look up a little bit, but the back of the cape is going to hinder that some. He has articulation at the shoulders, and it will actually rotate 360 degrees like the normal ones, but obviously the cape sculpt is going to make that difficult. And then of course it will extend out and twist. He does have, it's kind of hard to see with the cape, but you can see he does have the butterfly shoulder, which will give him some forward and backwards motion in the shoulders as well. He has the, if you hold the shoulder still, you can see he does have the bicep swivel, the double elbows, the double elbows, and the dual wrists, so they will rotate and then pivot, and then of course, depending on how you position, kind of like most of the McFarlanes, the way you position the wrist will be the direction that the wrist will pivot in. He has 2 points in the torso, one at the waist, and it's hidden by that belt, and it will allow him to twist from side to side, and then also the mid torso, which will allow additional twisting, so you can get some good, and it will actually allow him to rear back and crunch forward a little bit more backwards than forwards. He has to articulation at the hips, and they will go side to side as well as front to back. He has the dual knees and the ankles. It's a little more complicated with that cape to show you, and then the ankles will pivot and roll to allow him to stay flat-footed when you're posing him. And then of course the toe articulation that McFarlane has become known for. So very cool, really well articulated, and a fantastic sculpt to this Batman, and glad to add him to our McFarlane Toys collection.
Alright, so there's one last look at
Batman from Batman Spawn 1996.
Thank you so much for watching. As always, come back and see us, like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.